Hey, it's Quadix here. Welcome back. Make sure you guys comment Q, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps get me back into the algorithm since I've been gone for so long. And yeah, let's get into the video. Fire Country. Sasuke was leading his team, Taka, towards Konoha. The last Uchiha was determined in his new goal, the destruction of Konoha, as well as the forceful toaster bathing of the elders in revenge for what the Uchiha clan and Itachi were put through. Sasuke was focused on getting his latest revenge. He still hadn't told his team his plan of killing the entirety of Konoha, down to the very last child, the very last infant. He didn't care that he was going against Itachi's wishes. He didn't care that he had lied to his team. Nothing was going to stop him from completing his goal. He then noticed something appearing in a spiral in front of him. An orange mass with a spiral pattern appeared, and then a body covered in the Akatsuki cloak. Narrowing his eyes, his hand sparked with the Chidori, and he burst forward towards Madara, who was now standing in front of them. Karin, Sugetsu, and Jugo skidded to a halt as Sasuke pushed forward with his Chidori and went right through Madara. By going through, I meant literally. In a sense, Sasuke didn't even touch him. What? Sasuke thought as he skidded forward, and Madara turned to him. Sasuke, you disappoint me, Madara said, folding his hands, and Sasuke narrowed his eyes. What do you want? I pulled my part of our bargain, giving you the Hachibi, Sasuke asked, and Madara's Sharingan glared at him. You failed, Sasuke. Our agreement still stands, Madara told him coldly, and Sasuke, Jugo, Karin, with Sugetsu's eyes all widened. What? That's impossible. We brought him back to you, Sugetsu said. All we got is one tentacle. It seems that the killer bee pulled the wool over your eyes, Madara said, and Sasuke remembered the Hachibi's tail falling on Karin, and he was forced to cut it. So, that's how he did it. Ingenious, Sasuke thought, and he straightened up. If you're heading to Konoha, you're wasting your time, Madara said, and he looked at the group. My partner Pain has already destroyed it. What? Sasuke demanded and glanced at Karin. Karin turned on her Eye of the Kagura jutsu, searching out to Konoha, and she could feel an incredibly powerful residual of chakra. Much more powerful than Sasuke. All I can confirm is a residual chakra in Konoha. It dwarfs mostly all others. That's Pain, Madara said, looking at Sasuke. You still work for me, Sasuke, and I need you to head to the Kage Summit in Iron Country. No deal, Sasuke snarled, his eyes changing to the Sharingan. Our alliance is over, Madara. Madara frowned as Zetsu rose up from a tree branch. A new Hokage has been chosen, the white half said. Who is it? Danzo, Kakashi, Madara asked, glancing at the black and white Venus flytrap shinobi. Neither. It's Uzumaki Naruto, the kid who beat Pain, Zetsu replied, and Sasuke's eyes widened momentarily. He may be even stronger than Sasuke now. Yeah, he's got some powerful new abilities. Stronger than me? Sasuke snarled and then laughed. Madara, I'm heading to Konoha. Don't even try to stop me. How about we make a deal then? Madara asked them. If you beat me, our alliance is ended, and you can do whatever you want. But if you can't, you have to do what I say for the time being. Sasuke growled. Fine. He dashed towards Madara, his hand sparking with the Chidori, and he shot out in the Chidori's sharp spear and he brought it down on the branch that Madara was standing on. The Akatsuki leader leaped off the falling branch as Sasuke leaped towards him, throwing his Chidori out. Madara dodged, catching the fallen Uchiha's wrist, and he slammed his foot into Sasuke's stomach, sending him crashing back into the tree. Sasuke growled, flying through the seals, and he shot a blast of flame. Fire release. Great Fire Dragon technique. Shooting out a massive dragon-shaped fireball that roared at Madara. The Akatsuki leader let it harmlessly pass through his body, and he lifted his own hands. Without doing any seals or even calling out its name, he fired the Fire Release Super Phoenix Immortal Fire technique. Several large massive fireballs shot from where Madara's mouth could be, even colored blue, at Sasuke. Sasuke's eyes widened and he dodged to the side as Madara continued to fire the large blue balls of fire like a machine gun. I've never seen a technique like that before, Sasuke thought, comparing his own fire jutsu to the technique Madara was using, while his team jumped and dodged the fireballs. Gritting his teeth, his eyes morphed to the atom-looking six-pointed Mangekyo Sharingan he possessed, and blood flowed from his left eye. Amaterasu! Yelling, a fireball was shot out of nowhere and appeared on Madara. The first Uchiha snarled, throwing his arms up around the Amaterasu flames. To Sasuke's astonishment, the flames were then sucked into Madara's eye, and then they vanished. Madara then vanished into his eye, and teleported right behind Sasuke and slammed his fist into Sasuke's back. Sasuke slammed down to the ground. He managed to turn to face up as Madara landed on him, his foot slamming into Sasuke's stomach. Sasuke coughed up blood, and Madara leaned down. At that moment, their eyes met, and the fallen Uchiha's right eye began bleeding. Tsukiyomi! Sasuke roared, and Madara found himself in a red and black world. Several feathers pierced his body. So, this is your Tsukiyomi, Madara said, unimpressed. Pathetic. To Sasuke's horror, Madara shattered his Tsukiyomi like it was nothing, and he bent down, grabbing Sasuke by the neck. The fallen Uchiha looked into his ancestor's eye, which had shifted to his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Sasuke then found himself in the red and black world of the Tsukiyomi. It was just as intense as Itachi's. Welcome to my Tsukiyomi, Sasuke. Madara's voice echoed in his mind. I admit, I'm not on Itachi's level, but Itachi usually held back. I won't. Sasuke looked down at his hand, which began melting, and he began crying in pain. So, for 12 hours, you'll be melted and reformed, over and over again by my chakra. Enjoy. I thought Tsukiyomi was just a Itachi thing. I may be wrong though, so let me know in the comments. A second later, in the real world, Sasuke was coughing up blood. Itachi said you were a shadow of your former self. I am, Madara told him, tossing Sasuke to Karin. However, I'm more than powerful enough to teach you our hierarchy. Think of it this way. Heading to the Kage summit and talking out one or two Kages will show how strong you really are. And taking out one or two Kages. After all, if you figure out my ability, you could beat me. Why don't you do it yourself if you're so strong? Sasuke panted as he rolled up Karin's sleeve and bit into her wrist. Healing chakra began to flow into his body. Remember our agreement. You lost, Sasuke, so you have to do as I say, Madara told him, smirking behind his mask. Fine, Sasuke said, standing up after healing. Madara vanished for a second, then reappeared, tossing them Akatsuki cloaks. There, to signify you're a member of the Akatsuki, Madara said. and he pulled out his Hachi's ring, tossing it to Sasuke. To make it official, since until you can defeat me, Sasuke, you are a member of the Akatsuki. Sasuke took a deep breath, putting on the black robe with the red clouds after discarding his other cloak, and he slipped on the ring. He was now a full member of the Akatsuki, and he looked at the rest of Team Taka. Suigetsu was grumbling about wearing an Akatsuki cloak again, putting the decapitating carving knife back on his back. Jugo pulling his cloak on, and Karin had finished putting on hers. Well, we have our orders, Sasuke said with disgust. Let's head to the land of iron and get into position. Just a moment, Sasuke, Madara said, looking at Zetsu. The strange-looking shinobi then split into two, a black arm appearing on the black side and a white arm appearing on the white side where the dividing happened. Zetsu here will accompany you. He'll be of some help. Zetsu's white half leaped over after Madara tossed him on the Akatsuki cloak. I'm ready to go now, Sasuke, Zetsu's white half said with a grin. Fine, just don't get in my way, Sasuke ordered, and they turned and leapt away, heading northeast towards the land of iron. That was risky, wasn't it, boss? Zetsu black half said, looking at Madara. Just 30 seconds longer in the battle, and Sasuke would have defeated you, correct? Yes, Madara said, squeezing his hands into a fist. Hence a greater reason to become complete soon. Zetsu, prepare to initiate the Eye of the Moon plan. Yes, sir, the black half of Zetsu said. Without another word, the two vanished. Madara, using his teleportation jutsu, vanished into his eye until he completely disappeared. Zetsu sank into the ground, also disappearing, leaving the battleground where Sasuke and Madara fought behind. I don't understand why Obito would have lost if the fight had continued. It might be explained soon. If not, if you have any ideas of why Sasuke could for some reason defeat Obito, let me know. I read all comments if I didn't say it already. Konoha, Northern Gate. Naruto had selected Neji Hyuga as his second bodyguard for the summit, and he and Kakashi were departing. Kakashi and Neji were departing. The rest of the rookies and Team Guy were seeing them off, as well as most of Konoha. Several people were cheering on Naruto, wishing their new hero good luck in the summit. Kakashi and Neji had brown robes for protection against the cold in the land of iron, which was a country that was covered by snow. Well, let's get going, Naruto said, placing his Hokage hat on his head as he took a deep breath. Before walking out, I guess I'm not going to have a better time to do this, huh, sensei? Kakashi looked at him. Do what? Most of Konoha's here, so this is the best place to do it. Naruto lifted his hat up as the wind began blowing, and he turned to Konoha's populace. For now on, I protect this village. Kakashi smirked at that as the people of Konoha began cheering and whistling in joy at that. Well, now that's done, I believe we should depart, Hokage-sama. Right, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said with a grin. He did that to feel better. He was still down that Sasuke had fallen off the path so much. He couldn't be saved anymore. Kakashi, Neji, let's go. Yes, Hokage. Kakashi and Neji said at the same time, and the three began walking out of Konoha. Kumagakure. In the mountaintop village of Kumagakure, the village hidden in the clouds, the Yondaime Raikage A had finished getting ready for the summit. He selected his two bodyguards, Shi as censor, Kumo as top medical ninja and Genjutsu specialist, and Dari, his ninjutsu specialist swordsman who was a master of the Kekkei Genkai storm release with him. She had medium length blonde hair which covered his blue eyes as well as his white skin. Excuse me. and was wearing Kumo's standard Jonin uniform of a one-strap gray colored tuning vest, as well as a gray pants. I thought they were white. Pretty sure they were white. Dari had black skin like most of the people in Kumo, and had short spiky white hair and a large sword on his back that lacked a point, and was also dressed like she. The Raikage himself was a tall, imposing man who was extremely muscular, and he had his Raikage robe open to expose his muscular chest, and around his wrist were thick metal gauntlets that looked like they weighed a ton each, and around his waist was the ogre belt, and he was wearing dark black pants. Dari, she, ready to go? A asked, crouching down near the window. Yes, Raikage-sama. Both said, wincing as they saw that the Raikage was about to do. Then let's go, A yelled, and with that he jumped out the window of the Raikage tower, falling several hundred meters before landing on his feet before dashing towards the southern entrance. Dari and she sighed, and they walked out the door after telling a secretary to get someone in to fix the window in the Raikage's office. This was going to be a long journey. Kirigakure. On the mist-covered isles of water country in Kirigakure, the village hidden in the mist, Tarumi Mei, the extremely attractive brown-haired goddame Mizukage, was preparing to leave with her two bodyguards. The young seven swordsman Chojuro and the leader of the Undertakers, Kiri's elite hunter ninja unit, were preparing to go while standing on the docks. A group of villagers were seeing them off. Mei was wearing a blue low-cut kimono that showed off her impressive developments and legs with ninja mesh under it, and she was carrying her robes in the pack on her back. Chojuro was wearing his glasses, a white long sleeve shirt with vertical black stripes, and cargo pants that were blue and black. Around his chest was where his headband was connected to the harness that carried the Hirameki, his two-handed sword in its unreleased form. Ao's white-haired was standing up in a point, and he was wearing strange-looking earrings that had tags over them, and his right eye was covered in an eye patch. He was wearing the same white sleeve shirt that Chojuro was wearing, but had a blue kimono over his body, and around his forehead was his headband. Sir, I swear on my name as Mizukage, I will fulfill my duty, Mei said as she took her Mizukage hat from the elders as he handed it to her. Ho 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 ho. As one of the great seven swordsmen, you must protect Mizukage. I think I'll be able to handle it. Fine, probably, Chojuro said, stammering. Have faith in yourself. You're strong, Mei told Chojuro gently, making him blush. That's why you were chosen to guard me, okay, Chojuro? Yeah, I'll do my best, I hope, Chojuro said, blushing and smiling. She's so kind, he thought. Oh, I didn't know this man was that down bad. All you need to say is, yes ma'am. No one wants to hear you waffling, kid. You kids these days. Just be a man, Ao said in disgust as darkness descended over Mei's eyes. Man? Oh, enough with the lecture. You need to hurry or else you'll be late for the meeting. Need a man? Mei thought. I'm just giving the kids advice. When I was his age. Shut up, or I will forcefully toaster bath you. I lost where I was. Oh, no, I'm on the whole wrong chapter. It happens, okay. We're gonna be fine. Everything's okay. Just scroll down. Nope. Okay. Or I will forcefully toaster bath you, Mei said sweetly after turning to Ao, baffling him. Huh? Ao thought as his jaw dropped. Mei held up her hat. Come on, Ao, Chojuro, let's go. I'll protect her beautiful smile if I can, Chojuro thought eagerly as they got onto the boat and departed. Tier 4 simp. Iwagakure. In Iwagakure, the village hidden in the rocks, which was nestled in a valley surrounded by large mountains. Actually, I don't blame him. Mei is simp worthy. Surrounded by large mountains, Onoiki of the two scales was getting ready to go with his bodyguards. He was the Sandame Tsuchikage, a contemporary of Sarutobi Hiruzen, and the oldest living Kage in the 5 countries. He was also the shortest. He had long white hair, a large nose with bumps on it, and a white pointy mustache and pointy beard. He was also wearing the Tsuchikage robes with the hat hanging around his neck. His 2 bodyguards were Kurotsuchi, a pretty black-haired Konoichi who wore her hair in a bun and wore a 2-strap gray tuning vest, black t-shirt and black pants, and was carrying a big box on her back. The other was Akatsuki, a tall, chunky shinobi, wearing the same outfit with a big nose and a perpetual smile on his chubby face. You can do it, Tsuchikage-sama. Kurotsuchi Akatsuki. You better protect them, you bear. You hear, not you bear. A bunch of shinobi sat on a bridge that was over the eastern gate. At my age, this meeting will be a pain, Onoiki said, putting his hand on his back and groaning. You youngsters don't understand what it's like when your hips are a virtual time bomb. How about it, Gramps? Thinking of retiring? Kurotsuchi teased as the Tsuchikage put his hands onto the box. You can't rely on your former glory forever. Hahaha. I'll take your luggage for you, Tsuchikage-sama, Akatsuki said, and he began to lift up the box. Don't touch me, Akatsuki, Onoiki ordered, and he slipped his arm into his luggage harness. I don't need your help. He then lifted, and there was a crack and his hips gave out. Oh, my hips. What did you say? Should you send someone else in your place? Kurotsuchi joked. Don't be ridiculous. Who do you think I am? Onoiki demanded, his eyes bugging out from the pain. I am the Tsuchikage, the great and fearsome leader of Iwagakure. Ouch. I'll carry my own luggage. Good grieves. What a stubborn old man. Kurotsuchi groaned, closing her eyes and rubbing the bridge of her nose. Alright, I'll carry your luggage then. Let's go. Akatsuki said, lifting Onoiki and his luggage up with ease and putting them on his shoulder. With that, the 3 departed down the road towards the land of iron. Should be a decently long video. Sanagakure. In Sanagakure, the village hidden in the sand, Gaara, the goddamn Kazekage, was preparing to leave with his siblings who had chosen to be his bodyguards. He was wearing his Kazekage robes and his hat was hanging loosely around his neck, hitting the giant guard he was wearing on his back that was carrying his sand. Despite losing the Shukaku, Gaara was as strong as ever. Heck, he was arguably stronger. He still had his automatic sand shield, but he had been training for the past few months in taijutsu, so he wouldn't rely on it anymore. And he had added dozens of futon jutsus to his arsenal, and another reason why he was stronger, he could finally sleep without worrying about the Shukaku taking control. Conqueror stood next to him, his face paint changed, one purple line over his eyes, one over his mouth, and one going up his chin to connect with the one on his mouth, and he was still wearing his black outfit. Tamari had a white cloak on and her back was a large scroll, and she was wearing white shinobi armor under a cloak which had no sides. You're late, Kankuro, Baki chided his student as he stood with Ebizu and the rest of the villagers. It took me a while to figure out this new trick, Kankuro said with a grin. Be careful, Kazekage-sama, Matsuri Gar's student as well as partner said with a smile, "Oh, okay, I see you, Gara." Matsu, no, what? I'm not looking her up. You guys can do it on your own. "Conqueror, take good care of him," Ebisu said with a smile. "We will," Tamari said with a smile, waving a new small fan over her face to keep herself cool. "Alright, let's go," Gar told his siblings, turning to leave. "Not like Gar's needs bodyguards," Conqueror said with a grin, giving a thumbs up to the villagers. The three began walking off, and the sand began to move under their feet, and then the three stood still. Gar then levitated the sand under their feet, and they began to depart at a high speed towards the land of iron in the northeast. To be continued. I hope you've all enjoyed the video. If you have, please like the video. It really helps a lot with the channel. And comment Q. I really appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next part. See ya.